So this is it. My new car is a 2025 Hyundai Ioniq 5.
Cool color.
Thank you. This is cyber gray with a dark green interior, which we will explain in a moment. Go ahead and take a look inside.
So you may have seen our test drive video. We actually got the same car that we test drove. A Hyundai Ioniq 5, huh?
Yeah.
That's exciting. So what made you, we just did a video talking about why we wanted to part ways with the Volkswagen ID.4. What made you choose the Ioniq 5?
We've had the opportunity to test drive a few things over, the past year or so. We test drove the Equinox, the Blazer, the Lyriq.
Mm-hmm.
What else have we been in?
Oh, geez. I'm not sure. Anyway, a bunch. And we had driven this before we bought the Ioniq 5 in 22.
Right. I mean, we rented an EV6 at one point, and got to drive that for a few days. So yeah, I mean, we've tried a few things. I wouldn't say this was, a rash choice by any means, but when we test drove this recently, I really liked it.
Yeah, and so one of the things that we didn't like in 2022 when the Ioniq 5 was new, and it is that it was kind of a wafty ride, and that was in stark contrast to the EV6, which wasn't like that at all. We really liked the EV6, but they didn't seem to be quite baked either. The software was a little bit wonky, and if you saw our EV6 video, you can go back and look at that. You could see we had quite a bit of complaints with the software. That seems to be, we're really new. We have, 212 miles on the odometer, but it had 60 when we got it. So, I mean, we really haven't had a lot of time to spend in this yet, but by all accounts, the software seems to be quick and it seems to work. So that's really not an issue. One of the big things that's exciting, so it rides really well. It's very quiet. It does not feel that floaty boaty feeling, but it's also, while a big car, close to 5,000 pounds, I think 4,600 maybe 48 for the all-wheel drive. So this is the limited all-wheel drive. Drives great. Still doesn't have tip and dive in the when you do the corners. It's a big car for sure. Actually the same wheelbase as the Hyundai Palisade, the 3-row vehicle. So these are much bigger in person than they appear on YouTube.
It's very TARDIS-like.
Yeah, bigger on the inside. So the other big thing that we're excited about is, as you know, we like to do road trips. So this has the NACS, or the J3400 port. So it means we can charge it, not all superchargers, but a large number. And it also came with an adapter so that we can also go to the regular CCS charger. So it's really the best of both worlds. Ironically, going to the superchargers, at least now without version 4, it's slower. So it's 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. Whereas if we go to use the adapter, and at this point go to CCS, a high-powered CCS like Electrify America or EVgo, we could do it in 20 minutes. So it also has a heat pump. The only thing that I don't like about it is it'd be nice if it had more range. So it's 269 miles. This has a larger battery from when we drove it before. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty exciting. Built here in the U.S. at a new plant in Georgia, outside Savannah, I believe. And we like a light interior. This is a light interior. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's fun to drive. Has the range. We'll show you the back. One of the things that's different is I don't think it has quite the cargo space that the ID.4 has.
That is true.
And it does have, a frunk. We'll show you that too, if you can call it that. Yeah. Any more thoughts? And we want to ask the folks out there, watching, what questions do you have, and we're going to bring you along for this journey when we do our road trips and as we learn the car. So if you have thoughts, questions, suggestions, we'd love to hear them.
We touched on this in our test drive video, but this interior is called dark green, and that just is referencing the door panel and the dash, which is sort of a gray green color. But the seats, the lining up here, that's all sort of a ivory kind of color, I would
Very
say.
light, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very handsome. I think, I wouldn't have thought green, but then again, it's not really green. It's more of a, gray green. But it does offer a neat contrast. It's all soft touch in here. It's extremely quiet. It does have a moonroof. I'll open it since you can see it there. It opens two ways. And so it's just a fixed piece of glass. It doesn't open to the outside. But this is a limited trim, so it has everything. It has ventilated seats, which we're excited about. One of the things we were driving recently, just today, and one thing it doesn't have is memory seats for the passenger side. It has memory seats for the driver's side. So that was something that our ID.4 had, and our ID.4 had massaging seats, which we almost never use. So I'm not sure we'll miss that.
One thing that I'm still having to get used to is the fact that I do need to press a button to turn the car off. It took me a while to get used to that in the ID.4, but I fully embraced it, and it was so nice to just get in and get out without having to turn anything on, push any buttons, etc. So there will be a bit of a learning curve to get back into that groove, but not a big deal, but something that I'm still getting used to.
I drive a 2025 Model 3, and I'm not used to touching any buttons hardly, so I've already left it on and walked away. The good news is it does beep at you, so that you know. But it's just that'd be one of the things I would love to see in an over-the-air update. This new car can get over-the-air updates. In fact, we've already had a successful over-the-air update, which was more than what we ever got in our ID.4.
It's true.
So it'd be nice if they did away with that, having to push that button, because if you want to, cool, but you should just be able to push. You don't need the button, but you should be able to push the brake to start it, and then open the door to put it in park, or put it in park and open the door and be able to walk away.
We're still really new to the car. I mean, we're learning, and so we have a lot to learn, but we will be reading the manual and watching other videos to learn it, and we look forward to sharing with you what we learn about the Ioniq 5.
Oh, heads-up display. That's one thing that it has that we haven't had before. So it's really, really well equipped car. We wanted the limited because we wanted the memory seats. That's one thing. We also wanted the surround view camera.
The 360 degree.
Yeah, and it works really well. We can show you that too, maybe when we do a features tour. One of the things we didn't mention was we are leasing this for 2 years, 12,000 miles a year, and Hyundai was running a good deal, and that's one of the things that was the impetus for us to get it. So this is the most important change this year with the Hyundai Ioniq 5, the addition of the NACS or J3400 port. So this is the back with the hatch up. It's got a power hatch, which is great. It came with a cargo net, which is also great. I suppose we'll let you know. There's not much space under the floor though. Just enough for the tire mobility kit and a couple of the adapters.
Let's take a look at the front.
Yeah, let's take a look at the front. You want to pop it?
I don't know how.
Well,
let's learn together.
Yeah, see that little hood latch there at the bottom left? Yep, just pull that one time. Okay. Yeah. So here's under the hood. That was the appropriate response. It's kind of funny, isn't it? I guess we could put one of the adapters under there.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I think that space would be appropriate for an adapter.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this is I'm going to show you what it came with on this limited model. This is the tire mobility kit, which is the air compressor and the fix-a-flat. It also, very helpfully, and I do really appreciate Hyundai doing this, it came with the CCS to J3400. So this would be what you would use to use Electrify America or EVgo, CCS fast chargers. And then this is also very important. So this is a J1772. So you'll find this this is level 2. You may have a level 2 charger in your garage already, and it goes to Tesla. So you would just plug it in here, and also hotels. Those are another place. But you could also use Tesla destination chargers at hotels. So I think that was really cool that they included this. Yeah, and then not one, but 2 first aid kits. This is a giant first aid kit.
Safety first.
At Safety First. And then I don't have it here, it's already in the garage, but the level 1 granny charger. If you get in a pinch.
What did you call it?
Granny charger.
Why do you call it a granny charger?
Because it's so slow.
Could it be a grandpa charger?
Sure, it could be a grandpa charger. Sure. So anyway, let me get in here and show you how this works. Always clean your feet. It's neat because this adjusts up and back, which is nice. It also you can square off the cargo or recline here, which is nice.
The cargo?
Like in the back, like if you wanted to have a more upright.
Oh, I see.
And then the vent is right here, which is really nice. It has 2 cup holders, giant moonroof, and yeah, there's a lot of room back here.
The center console also moves up and back, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, and that could give you more room here, or position it like depending on whether you want to bring your seat up or back. So
we're not as familiar with the features per trim level as we should be, but I do think that the sliding center console is a limited feature.
And so is the panoramic glass moonroof.
Yeah. What about the seat adjustment that you did? Is that a limited feature?
I don't really know. I do know that this sunshade here is a limited only, as well as the Bose upgraded speakers. I think it's 8 speakers with a subwoofer, but don't quote me on that. Thanks for watching.
Be sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.